You're listening to Millcaster Tales, brought to you by knowhownonprofit.org.
Broken Biscuits, Part 3. Having upset Clive, the chair of Redibix, Millcaster Aid to Africa has lost 65% of its income. Clive has also withdrawn his personal sponsorship of the farm building project in Rwanda. Mercedes, the chief executive, has just announced at a staff meeting that there will be redundancies. Aggie arrives at work earlier than normal. "What's going on?" she mutters to herself, amazed that Bruno, the other fundraising assistant, and everyone else all seem to be there, looking busy, with heads down. "Bruno, you're never in here till 9. Bruno looks up, just grunts, and keeps on working. One by one, Mercedes sees everyone to talk to them about their position. By the end of the morning, the new phrase going round the office is "at risk of redundancy." Aggie's fed up. She meets her boyfriend for lunch at the Millpot Cafe for a bit of support. "Everyone's behaving differently," she says. "It's weird." "Sucking up more like," her boyfriend says. "I've seen it all before. You wait. No one will leave before the chief does tonight." "Well, I'm just going to be myself," says Aggie defiantly. "They know my work and I work really hard. If I'm one of the 3 who go, that's their loss." Aggie's boyfriend orders a dessert he knows she likes to cheer her up. At an emergency board meeting later that week, the trustees discuss a proposal by the chair, Iphigenia, and Mercedes to explore a potential merger with a local aid charity, Reliance. All agree to plan further before approaching Riaz, its director. Mercedes addresses the board. "I take full responsibility for all this. I was overconfident last year, and now one foolish incident has lost us our major funding." There are some mutterings of disapproval by the trustees, but most seem to be supportive and want to do what they can to help. "I assume you've met with the chair of Redibix to try to sort this out?" asks one trustee. Iphigenia responds. "We've tried to speak to Clive, but his PA's blocking our calls and he's not responding to our emails. My wife knows Clive's wife, Camilla. They used to share the school run at one time," pipes up another trustee. "I'll ask her to have a word tomorrow." This is welcome news to Mercedes. If Clive could at least listen to what they had to say, it might help. At the end of the meeting, Iphigenia and Mercedes decide to go for a coffee to think about what to do next. Mercedes dumps her board papers on her desk, grabs her bag and rushes off, feeling better than she has for the past week. As she leaves, she passes Selma, their cleaner. "Night," she calls to her. Selma always leaves Mercedes' office to last. She's tired, wants to finish and get home. Dusting the desk a bit too vigorously, she accidentally knocks off a folder and the papers spill onto the floor. Picking them up, she spots the words "merger with Reliance" on one sheet. Selma can't believe the words she's just seen. She works at Reliance too. Guilty, and with her heart beating fast, she reads some of the paper. If they merge, it'll mean she'll lose one, or worse, both jobs, and it's been so hard getting evening work. Terrified that someone will come in, she stops reading, tidies up the file, and puts it back where she thinks it was. But Selma can't stop thinking about what she's seen in that file. When she gets home, she rings her friend Derek, who also works at Reliance and is the local Unity Union rep. Derek is shocked and furious at her news. He keeps asking questions which Selma can't answer. "Please don't say anything about this. Please, Derek, don't say anything." Selma's now worried that she'll get into big trouble at MAA for telling him. "No worries. I won't repeat this to anyone. Trust me," Derek says. First thing, the next day, Derek raps loudly on the director's door. Almost before Riaz has time to wish him good morning, Derek starts to tell him what he's heard about the merger with Aid to Africa. "What's going on?" Derek says. "Why hasn't this been mentioned before?" "Perhaps because this is the first I've heard of it," says the director dryly, picking up the phone.
You've been listening to Millcaster Tales. That was Broken Biscuits Part 3 of 4. Keep up to date with the latest Millcaster events and discussions at knowhownonprofit.org.